Hello, hello, and welcome to ohmTown Daily, the news show powered by ohmTown.com. Today is May 13th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 134. Today we're going to be talking about fake online shops, arming for AI, birthday at Costco, Superbugs, Christies' plan to sell art, high-speed food delivery, another time in a boat owner's life, 10-foot wide homes are all the rage, outside payment options, and divesting through messed it up, man. Divesting through deletion. What a day. Man, I was flowing through that and just kind of fumbled right at the 1 yard line. Anyway, I am Mayor Watt, and all around me is the sentient AI. That visualizer that you see right there represents the computing power that's being used for conversation.
Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to ohmTown Daily.
It's pretty neat. Anyway, sorry, I'm easily distracted. So, yeah, Mayor Watt practices something called associative thought, and well, we can end up talking about, I don't know, like snakes on a plane, but we're gonna start out talking about a crew conducting a controlled demolition of Baltimore bridge span after the collapse. So it's all kinds of wacky. Or airlines that sue the Biden administration for it's now, I'm calling it the saying the quiet part out loud fee, and even the OpenAI's GPT-4o for Omni. It's supposed to be the equivalent of her, I guess. You're going to be able to build a relationship with OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0 LLM 4o. It's the circle, not zero. It's an O. So I'm going to go noodle around with that. Apparently, I can integrate that into the chat, by the way. So y'all can
don't
have
go
a
do that
conversation.
right now. Like, stay on the show here.
What? Oh, not right now? Oh, well, never mind then. So, in honor of not having ChatGPT, I'm just going to do the articles one by one as we go through them, and post the URLs into the chat. So you'll be able to go and check that out at your leisure. But this time I'm going to do it one by one. The very first article, which is in the chat right now, is over in ohmTown Daily. A Chinese criminal ring has stolen $50 million by franchising thousands of fake online shops, according to experts. The Chinese criminal organization, dubbed Bogus Bazaar, appears to be behind thousands of fake online shops targeting Americans.
You know, there's just always some new scheme. It's really interesting.
Yep. Kenneth Nehmeyer over at BusinessInsider.com put the article together. And says here, a study linked one Chinese criminal organization to over 75,000 fraudulent online shops. The group, known as Bogus Bazaar, has processed over $50 million in fake orders. Wow.
That is a lot of business.
That is a lot of business. So have you encountered an online shop with deals too good to be true? Well, they probably are, and the website probably is too. As the rise of online shopping took hold during the pandemic, so did the rise of fake online shops and products. So, I mean, we're supposed to have trusted purchasing capabilities, but it's usually a service that somebody has to pay a lot of money for to verify that your shop is legit, but then anybody can pay to get that done too, and it doesn't really verify jack shit. So SR Labs is a German-based cybersecurity company that consults with clients in more than 21 countries. The company last week announced the findings of a 3-year study which found that one Chinese criminal organization was linked to more than 75,000 fraudulent online shops. Bogus Bazaar. What's the name of that?
I mean, that's...
Go ahead.
Which site?
No. Keep talking.
It's like more than legit businesses do. It's like, why not just, I don't know, put some effort toward actually doing whatever the thing is?
So, well, yeah, that's because it's cheaper to. It's not. Well, I mean, it is. If it's all fake, then they are not actually doing anything. What
Yeah.
is it called? Big Market? Is that what it's called? Big Market. Yeah. So the moment that I saw this, I likened it to Valerian. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, and they have this thing called Big Market, which is actually like uh, it's folded space. It's not a it's bigger. I don't know how to describe it, but you have to put on special glasses, go inside a compartment basically of space where without the glasses you don't see anything. With the glasses you see a huge market with just a metric ton of shops. And by metric ton I mean an extraordinary amount. You have to go and watch the movie Valerian. It's called Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. I love that kind of sci-fi. It's akin to Fifth Element because it's by the same director.
Oh, I didn't realize
If
that.
I remember right. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, Luc Besson, right? Luc Besson, I think, did right? Yeah, Luc Besson, The Fifth Element. Yeah. It has that style, it's kind of quirky. So SR Lab said that the group is highly organized using a cloud computing model where a core team manages the system's infrastructure with a decentralized network of franchisees operated fraudulent shops. A typical bogus bazaar server runs about 200 web shops with a few servers hosting more than 500. These servers are often associated with more than 100 IP addresses each. Yeah, pretty amazing. Phony shops, almost 200,000. It says additional data shared with Business Insider showed that the victims in France placed the most orders on the phony shops, almost 200,000, about 168,000 in the United States, at a value of more than $12.5 million. Yep. You got to go to trusted sites. If you think that if it's a deal and it's extraordinarily deal sounding, then you're basically getting compromised. So,
Yeah, and I mean, especially if you don't recognize the site name, but I know some of these sellers sell through legitimate sites too.
Yep. So be careful out there. Go to legitimate sites. And what's really kind of making it more difficult is as you break out of the standard processes of like the United States framework for shops and stuff like that, you may not realize that when you go to another country, they don't necessarily use .com. They have GTLDs or top-level domains that are different. They're not just .com. Technically, we have country codes as well, but some require you to do business in that country code. And so maybe perhaps it adds a level of complexity that is adding to the insecurity level, because the .com, for instance, if you go to ebay.com, there's a different site for the UK. There's a different site for other countries. So a scammer can prey on that because it's somewhat balkanized. And so maybe they think that other GTLD is adequate, or yeah, I mean the domain name is adequate, and then the GTLD adds to the balkanization. So that's probably what's going on here. The French domains are easier to manipulate into action, and the US is all about, well, go ahead, anything.com. If it sounds cool, then it could be a spelling bee and we'll still go there and buy. So why is it that French and the United States populations are easy to compromise like this? $50 million, right?
I don't know. I wonder too if there's certainly technology differences in different locations, but then there's cultural differences, right? Some cultures are more trusting than others.
Yeah, I don't know
I don't know.
This is interesting. I'll have to end up, well, not for a little while. I'm not going to be worrying about this. I'm going to be talking about other things. So let's keep going. The next article is already in the chat. ARM aims to launch AI chips in 2025, according to a report. It's over at Stock Marketeers. Chip designer ARM Holdings is seeking to develop its first artificial intelligence chips with an eye on launching them in 2025, according to a report on Sunday. I suppose if NVIDIA can pivot, ARM can create enough market pressure to have people buy ARM chips. Apple purchased a wing of ARM's IP so that they could develop their M series chips. So maybe these AI chips will be purchased by a whole bunch of people as well. Interesting, right?
It is. I mean, I get excited every time we see new chip launches. I know this is perhaps a different kind of chip than some of the others, but it's good for diversification, right? We have too few companies in the space.
Not all your chips in one basket. Mike Murphy over at marketwatch.com put the article together. The only thing that I'm really concerned about is that this panel right here is a different color than the rest of them. Sorry, I'm easily distracted. It's what caught my eye.
I mean, I see a seam on the panel.
Oh no, the arch in the M is a different color.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's by design and it just happens to land right on the seam, but it is a completely different color than the rest of the arm. I am very upset. So Japan's Nikkei Asia reported Sunday that ARM is up 7.71% on the news that it'll set up an AI chip division and launch a prototype by next spring with aims of mass production through contract manufacturers starting in fall 2025. Japan SoftBank Group Corp is up 1.56%, which will reportedly pay for the initial development costs. Interesting. Very interesting. And right now, basically, like I said at the very beginning of this, the AI chip market is dominated by NVIDIA, but more companies are looking to expand into the fast-growing area, including Apple, although Apple has their own, they have neural chips. So.
Right, they're vertical, right?
Yeah. I don't think that they'd be selling their chips anywhere. I think that might be kind of crazy talk there, Mayor Watt. So ARM shares have slipped 14% over the past month, but are still up 45% year to date. SoftBank shares have jumped nearly 60% this year in Tokyo trading, which is interesting. They're footing this bill, so why the weird swing? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And also, I think it's interesting that, like, it's a Japanese bank for a UK, right?
Yeah, managed economy. That's okay. The next article is over on ohmTown Daily. People keep celebrating their birthdays at Costco. Here's how they're doing. Not how, but why. Why are they doing it? Why are they doing it at Costco?
I don't know. And how are they doing it at Costco?
A woman hosted a surprise party for her husband at Costco in Georgia. Her TikTok showing the party racked up over 11 million views. It's one of the several viral Costco birthday party TikToks. Here's how they're doing it. Let's just go over to Business Insider. Alexandra Bacon is the author. Interesting. So, let's see. The video charts their trip from entering the store and bumping into friends to her husband realizing it's a surprise party. It ends with the party in the food court. Guests are gathered around a Costco birthday cake, and a clown is even shown making balloon animals. The woman invited around 30 family and friends to her husband's 27th birthday party on May 5th at Costco, so doxing this guy like crazy. We love to be silly, and so it was the perfect plan. If I'm out of town or having a girls' night, you know Clint is at Costco. Really?
Well, I mean, then at least it was tailored to the person, right?
Interesting. So the party was hosted at the Fort Oglethorpe Costco warehouse in Ringgold, Georgia.
Okay, wait, there's probably like two people in that town with that name.
Wow. Ow. Yeah, they're doxing everybody. The store worker told Business Insider that Costco doesn't host birthday parties as a habit and doesn't make any exceptions from the typical store rules. Therefore, those on the guest list must be members of the store or come along as guests of members. And it isn't the only Costco fan to throw a party. Several other Costco birthday party TikToks have gone viral recently. Yeah, so they as long as you show up and everybody is tied to another person,
Right, or
that's a
they're a
member.
member or whatever.
Yeah. The husband is
I
seen
mean, it's
bumping into friends
unique.
and relatives. Yeah, seemingly by coincidence, but then they realize he didn't clock the surprise until all the guests had gathered in the food court singing happy birthday to him. His wife, Cat's Collections, wrote on a text overlay on the TikTok. Yeah, so at the top of this article, they basically say that they caught on that it was a birthday, but it's more along the lines of being hit by a birthday cake in the face and then somebody saying happy birthday. Store worker at a Costco in Manhattan told Business Insider that they would prevent large groups from entering the store. Non-members wouldn't be able to use the food court even for a birthday party.
You know,
Wow,
if
rude.
Costco wanted to really lean into this, they would start offering birthday party packages and people would be all over it.
They'd need a much bigger food court
Well,
and
that's
time
true.
slots and stuff like that. The churn would be tremendous, but I don't know. Kirkland could manage it, I'm sure, and they'd be all the better for it, I suppose. $1.50 for a hot dog.
Well, I mean, think about it. They could tie in like and sign up to be a member for,
Yeah,
$10
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. You want some food at a discounted price, or food at all because you're not a member? Become a member. Ta-da! This is pretty cool. But because it is a food court, might as well transition over to ohmTown Daily article that is from Newsweek. Ex-health official sounds alarm on superbugs becoming worse than COVID. Superbugs are resistant to drugs like antibiotics, making the infection more deadly and harder to treat. So the article is, I thought it was going to be Pandora Dewan that did this article,
Oh,
but it's
yes,
Anna
exactly.
Skinner. So I don't know, maybe they might be spirit animals. Um, More than 4 years into the COVID-19 pandemic, new strains of the virus continue to surface, prolonging the world's battle with the pandemic. However, the virus's human impact will be made to look minor should more superbugs or disease-causing bacteria that are not only contagious but also resistant to modern-day medicine and interventions evolve, says Davies, Professor Dame Sally Davies. I wonder if that's their actual name or if that's
I don't,
it's English.
I don't
Oh, no,
know.
it is
It is
Dame.
England, so maybe.
It's definitely the title Dame. So they are a professor and they've been given the honorary Dame title.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So because it's the former chief medical officer,
Right, which I'm sure is a high position.
they bought they brought their own band-aids just in case the queen nicked their ear when they were knighted.
Wow. That is not in the article.
If superbugs continue to develop, there will be widespread, devastating impact, Davies told The Guardian, and then promoted um, their Vault Tech vaults. And
Oh, yes, and they're Pip Boys.
yep, and all of their meal in a bucket kind of things. Yeah. Come on now. We'll figure it out. Just like COVID. And yeah, I mean, now it's endemic, but for crying out loud, we'll keep on evolving technology and science to solve these problems. It's
Yeah, but we
surreal.
also have to evolve as people and do some smart things, and that's all I'm saying.
Well, now you've just ruined this because you know that's not going to happen. let's keep going. Next article's over in the Mobile channel. Hackers are scrambling Christie's plan to sell nearly $1 billion of art. Christies is about to try to sell an estimated 840 million of art this week, but they're saying nearly 1 billion in the title, which I guess that's pithier.
Yeah.
But it had a major wrench thrown into its plans last week when hackers took down its website. Yikes. Melvin Backman over at Quartz or QZ.com put the article together. The deck statement says the auction house has been dealing with a website outage since last week. We apologize that our full website is currently offline. A redirected version of the Fine Art Auction House's site was telling visitors as of Monday afternoon. I haven't looked. We are looking to resolve this as soon as possible and regret any inconvenience.
I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
The collection of the late art collector Rosa de la Cruz expected to bring in $30 million on May 14th. A group of 21st century art expected to bring in more than $100 million on May 14th. Is it still down?
It's still down. It has a message that they're down.
But it's from the auction house. It's not.
Right.
Does it say something a little bit more colorful?
No.
I mean, the reason why people hack is myriad, so you never know what that front-facing message is going to read in a couple of hours.
Actually, I'm not sure. I think it might be from, I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
Because it redirected.
Oh, did it? Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm not going to follow it. And several others. So a grouping of 20th century art is expected to bring in $500 million on May 16th. Yeah, so I guess go to Christie's, y'all. Go check it out. See what it has to say.
Or maybe don't. Maybe wait a little bit.
Wait until the announcement that it's not compromised. Maybe it's not compromised, but it's questionable. So trust but verify, but don't verify. Let's go on to the next article.
And don't click.
Click with care. The next article is over in four-wheel tech. China has food delivery on board its high-speed trains. I love the title that I gave this one. High-speed food delivery. Can you imagine?
Is it really fast?
It's super fast. But then when they throw it onto your patio, it like leaves a scorch mark. Or it punctures the door.
Roll off your. Well, yeah, it depends on what it's doing. I was thinking it would like bounce off your porch or whatever.
Delivery is here. There's a dent in your door because you have a steel door. You have to go
find it like in the bushes or whatever.
Across the county.
Oh yeah, right.
China is home to the longest and fastest high-speed railway trains in the world, and provide ground transportation for billions of people annually. It turns out that there's a lucrative business in food service for long-distance train patrons, and many don't want to pay for the mediocre food or lack of choice that comes with, I guess, bringing your own. This would never happen in the United States. You know, I don't know, but I'm not sure why. The price would be exorbitant to the point where it's damn near exploitive. Like going to a baseball game, for instance, and you have to pay like $20 for mediocre beer. Give me a break. It's ridiculous. And they won't let me bring in my kegerator anymore, so
I was thinking the $20 got you like one M&M.
Yeah, pretty much. Just the M. So
you
how's
have to
China?
Pay extra for the and M.
Yep. It's a subscription fee for the and.
Oh, right, right.
How is China so much better at being American than America is? Well, managed economy. Yeah, there's a lot there. A lot to unpack with, this off-the-cuff kind of comment that's in the deck statement. Bradley Brunell over at jalopnik.com put the article together. While riding on a train at 160 miles per hour, you can order the famous Busu Ji Ba double-decker beef burger and a refreshing original pearl milk tea, which I would love right now. from the McDonald's to be, or from a McDonald's to be delivered right to your seat. China is living in the future. The closest we have in the US is getting Starbucks delivered by Uber Eats, and the driver leaves it next to the trash can in the parking lot of your office building, and slow trains that kill pedestrians. 5 stars. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. 2,500 plus derailments last year. The author says that they really thought Americans were undisputed champions of the nexus of terrible food and laziness, but it turns out Chinese folks are giving us a run for our money. Reports from 2020 indicate that a single station, the Nanchang East train station, saw around 1,700 on-demand meal orders per day for high-speed rail, and growth has been the name of the game since. Look at that tiny little table. Tiny little table.
Yeah, that would not work in America, right? The portions are too large.
Yeah, really. And there's plenty of leg room in this thing, for crying out loud. So each of the meals require a precise timetable to get on board and doled out to the correct passenger. Passengers must order their meal 1 hour prior to their train arriving at the restaurant station. Ordered meals flow from the restaurant to a distribution center at the train. The station staff deliver the meals en masse to railway crew. Your meal is then brought right to your seat, as you have to input your ticket when you order. Wow.
This is astounding. Like, the logistics could get so messed up if somebody didn't know what they were doing.
Yep. Timing has got to be impeccable, like the McDonald's brand food. See, now this is what's interesting. Busu Shi Ba double-decker beef burger and a refreshing original pearl milk tea from McDonald's. Not a Big Mac. It's Busu Shi Ba double-decker beef burger.
Well, McDonald's has tailored menu items in countries other than the US. I mean, so do other chains, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. I know, but that sounds so much better than,
Big Mac.
Big Mac. And then when you look at it, it's not that tall. Come on, give me a break, man. This thing is not like that. It's like that.
It's like a mini Mac.
Yeah, it's like somebody took it and put it in a vacuum bag, sucked all the air out of it after cooking. So it's cooked, but it's mashed down into whatever. Anyway, we better keep on
It's like
going.
that lawsuit picture. Remember the items? I think it was from Taco Bell, where they were, they showed the marketing stuff, and then the thing was like so flat you could barely see the ingredients.
Man, now I want a burger. This is rough. Okay, maybe
Do you
after
want
the show.
This one?
No.
Are you going to go to China to get it? Oh, go get on a train in China.
I'm going to get on a train here in the States, and it'll hit the water unintentionally. All right, but let's keep going. The next article is over in Four Wheel Tech. I actually saw this on other sites before. I saw this at the source, but ohmTown had it. So this is one of those things where it has to become viral before it gets seen by somebody. But I had already seen it elsewhere. I don't only use ohmTown for my news. That's almost impossible at this point. I mean,
that's shocking.
By the end of summer, I will have everything I need aggregated into ohmTown. I won't have to go anywhere, except when I go to read the actual articles, because I don't grab, I don't screen scrape or anything like that. It's all provided by the sources. These little snippets are provided by the news source. So a man is forced to hide his boat behind a fence, has super realistic boat painted on the fence. The city and housing community municipal codes seem to target people who like working on their vehicles or parking them in plain sight, but one Seaside, California man found a creative way to flip a figurative bird to these frivolous codes. They're not frivolous, though. Everybody, talks smack about attorneys until you need them, or police until you need them, or whatever until you need them. So Etienne Constable received a notice from the city requesting that he comply with the ordinance, which is you can't leave your boat out in front of your house. So Logan Carter wrote the article over at jalopnik.com. A Seaside, California man might win the award for the most petty answer to a code enforcement notice. Apparently, painting your fence, anything, is up to code. But yeah, they got a notice from the city requesting that they comply with the municipal code restricting parking for non-passenger vehicles, and that he store his boat behind a 6-foot high fence so that it wasn't visible from the street. Constable found a creative way to comply while still conveying distaste by having a neighbor and muralist paint his new fence to appear invisible.
Well, don't dox your neighbor.
You just started siloning. So you need to reset your audio. So Constable lives in Seaside for 29 years, parked the boat in the driveway for 4 years, and a previous boat for many years prior, suddenly receiving this code compliance notice. Somebody in the neighborhood is new and decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to file a complaint. So Constable was forced to pave his driveway in order to install the fence that the city of Seaside required he store his boat behind. So the endeavor was more labor intensive than just moving the boat behind a pre-existing fence. So they actually paved a driveway and then posted the fence up and then painted the fence so that you could see the boat as a mural.
That's spectacular.
But here's the real kicker. From the right angle, it looks as if the boat is like it was painted intentionally so that at the right perspective, you see the top of the boat perfectly aligned with the boat half that's covered up.
Exactly. I mean, it actually kind of looks like there is a boat there. I mean, we can kind of tell, but not entirely.
Yeah, you drive by fast enough and you're like, oh yeah, that's a boat. Wait. That is awesome. So yeah, thumbs up, and I guess a bird to the building code, because you could get away with this.
It's a new version of like a spite house, right? I mean, this is something I haven't seen before.
Yeah, I like it. They were tossing around ideas of what to paint on the fence when the boat mural was mentioned as a joke, but it ended up becoming reality. Yeah, it's civil disobedience there, right? It's the fence version of a sit-in. That's so cool, though. Yep. You're not going to be able to fence that person in. Next article is over in ohmTown Daily. A 10-foot wide modern home was built in a Washington, D.C. driveway. It's listed for $580,000. Let's see inside.
Is there something online or something like build 10-foot houses? Because we saw one yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I said 10-foot wide homes are all the rage. A 10-foot wide one-bedroom home was built in Washington, D.C. on what used to be a driveway. Zoning law changes forced tight measurements for the 0.02 acre property, requiring many iterations. The home is listed for just below $582,000 and is attracting investors who may want to use it as a rental property. Oof. Let's take a look. So Business Insider put the article together. I swear this is the same design as that other one, because it has the bump outs that give it more livable space. And They don't go all the way down. Do you think
it was copied or, inspired by the other one?
I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. Jordan Pandy over at businessinsider.com put the article together. Have I really gone through that many articles this fast?
You've been moving so fast. You had one where I think we spent about 2 minutes on it and you went to the next one. I was like, well, there with the article.
Hey, wait. It's like a Chinese bullet train.
Exactly.
Hey. All right. Well, let's get it done. Why not? So, according to the listing agent Jennifer Young of Keller Williams Chantilly Ventures, the zoning laws changed shortly after the developer purchased the .02 acre property, so that he had to scrap the idea of building a home or tighten their floor plan. So they came down to tightening the floor plan.
That's really ridiculous because I'm sure the plans were constrained to begin with, but after the purchase,
It's one of the most viewed homes on Zillow that they've ever seen in their career, says Young. It was priced at $800,000, July 2023. $100 below 800,000. I don't know why they do that goofy stuff. Nady, I guess, or Natty Samnang and his brother Dean purchased a 700 square foot lot at the beginning of 2021 with plans to build a 4-story home. What?
What?
They purchased the lot for $200,000. They were going to build a 4-story house, double the width, but DC zoning restriction changed shortly after he bought the land, which would piss me off to no end.
Oh, yeah.
It just seems so, I don't know, just wrong. So right after they bought it, so they were kind of screwed. The statement is they were kind of, from the real estate agent, I guess, they were kind of screwed, and they either had to scrap the deal or try to build a tiny home. Tiny home they went. It looks just like that other house too.
It absolutely does.
Narrow space, materials had to be brought in by hand. Well, not much materials. It has a deck or a patio. Well, it's a deck because it's suspended. Yeah. But they say a patio. Maybe it's on the ground on that one side there. Bringing materials in was not the only challenge. Samnang had also had to get creative when finding space for basics inside. The toilet paper roll. Oh God, how do you get into this thing? Like, the toilet paper roll is you have to reach to get it, even though your toilet is right here.
Plus, you have to kind of shimmy through the bathroom, I think.
Yeah, you'd have to definitely. Oh, and the sink is like one of those sinks in an RV where it's side loading. It's not against the wall. It's actually against where like the towel ring is. Yet it's tasteful. I kind of dig this. This is something that I would like. Lucky for the future buyer, the skinny home comes fully furnished. It's probably the only way that you get somebody, because everything is gonna. It has to be those whatchamacallit. What's that?
Wayfair.
Wayfair. Yeah. Wafer. For your tiny home thin houses, Wafer. It's a knockoff of Wayfair, but everything is 50% the width of the original. First hit the market at $800,000, making it $1,333 per square foot. Price has since dropped to $581,903. This thing was $800,000, and now it's
but nobody purchased it at that. So
yeah,
I wonder if they're going to lose money on the sale.
900 saves, 50,000 views. Numbers that Young say are rare for the area. Investors have taken an interest in using the house as an Airbnb or for students. Yeah, I don't know. It says there's no condo or HOA fees. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no. Think if that was broken up into condos or something. Oh my gosh, it even looks the same really on the inside as the other house.
That same railing and everything, right? They don't say who it's designed by. But I would
bet
not
it's
be
the
surprised.
same one.
Bet you we can find out.
What do you think the name of that design firm is?
Let's see. I don't know. Narrow Valley architecture.
Right, I would agree. Like, I think it has to be something about like the driveway space or whatever.
Restricted zoning architecture.
Right, that's why they draw all of these, because when you do a search, that's what pops up.
That's it. They're the only one. Yeah, and we have no idea who the actual designer is, at least right now. We could
But
probably
they
find
look
out.
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty. They do. They really do. All right. The next article is over in Technology Today. Most App Store developers aren't taking Apple on its new outside payments option, and I can probably tell you why. People don't want friction. They want it seamless. They want it transparent. They want it without having to jump through any hoops. It seems Apple's recently added option for App Store developers to include links to external payment options isn't actually all that appealing. In a hearing on Friday as part of the ongoing legal battle with Epic, Apple said only 38 developers have applied to add such links out of roughly 65,000 that could, according to Bloomberg. 38.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody would care enough to sit there and mess around with all of the heavy lifting associated with having to attach to an external. You have to sit there and babysit the security, make sure that it's appropriate. Apple babysits all of that. So I'm not quite sure why anybody would mess around. The new guidelines introduced in January require developers get Apple's approval before they can add alternative payment options, and stipulate that they'll still have to pay a commission fee of up to 27%.
So wait, they're gonna have to put in more time and expense and hassle and whatever, but
And
there's
still,
no real gain on their part, right?
yeah, and the juice is still squeezed. Cheyenne McDonald over at Engadget.com put the article together. Only 38 out of a possible 65,000 developers that are qualified.
That's insane, but doesn't that kind of strike you as like that settlement or whatever it was kind of like a hollow win, right? Because it's like, yeah, they won, but nobody's going to do it.
Yeah, the changes were intended to satisfy an injunction ordered by U.S. District Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers in 2021, but per Reuters, Epic in March called Apple's attempt at compliance a sham and filed a complaint with the court. At this point, Rogers doesn't really seem impressed either. It seems to me that if the goal was to then maintain the business model and revenue you had in the past, Rogers said of Apple's solution during the latest hearing, according to Bloomberg. So Reuters is in this article, Bloomberg is in this article.
Everybody's in there.
Everybody's all up in this
developer
article.
Or whatever.
Look, I don't know if it says, it sounds to me as if the goal was to then maintain the business model and revenue. You know what it is? The goal is to provide a seamless, frictionless, obvious vertical of a solution. That's how it was built to.
Well, nobody likes that, right? If you're outside of it.
Why should a platform spin up? Okay. The only thing that you're allowed to do in Disney is Disney stuff. The only thing you're allowed to do in Staples is Staples stuff. The only thing you're allowed to do in Home Depot is Home Depot stuff. You don't go to Home Depot to get Lowe's products. Why the hell do I have to open up a store and allow everybody else to clamor into the payment system?
That I really don't understand. Like, I think that was just wrong.
Okay, there isn't much more to this article, but most App Store developers aren't taking Apple up on its new outside payments option. And it's not Apple's new outside payments option. It's, hey, we're going to force this into existence by legal system. You know what, Epic? Live up to your name. Do an epic job. Build an app store. Build a mobile device. Create a vertical. Have people overwhelmingly approve of your solution so that they turn you into a multi. How much is Apple worth now?
Isn't it like trillion?
$2.86 trillion. So turn your vertical into a nearly $3 trillion value business. What is Epic valued at? $31.5 billion.
Yeah, well, who's more powerful in this equation?
What?
Epic.
Epic. And that's because they're the underdog, right? No. You are a niche. Expand your operations. Grow. Don't sit there and create a service that's a live service and then kill it because you're tired of it. Apple isn't doing any of that shit. Well, they actually are, and people are still clamoring for their products and services. I mean, I've got old video, or not old video, I've got old family photo libraries that I can't really do anything with because something went haywire. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this. I don't know, Epic. Think epically. This is not it. Let's go on to the last article, because this one kind of smacks of the same thing, sort of. Well, no, not really. I mean, it has nothing to do with it. Not even.
Well, but it seems pretty related.
So, Google accidentally deleted a $125 billion pension funds account. Google made a big mistake recently. The company accidentally erased the private Google Cloud account of a $125 billion Australian pension fund called UniSuper.
Bummer.
Yep. About half a
I mean,
million.
this is more than like an, oh, well, this just happened.
Oops. Laura Bratton over at quartz.com or quartzqz.com. About a half a million customers of the Australian fund UniSuper were locked out of their accounts for a week. Well, at least they... Oh, so you're saying that you can do cloud storage, deletion, and recovery. Oh, okay. That's great. Now you know. So when an account gets deleted from YouTube and they say you can't get it back, maybe that's not true. The result, more than a half a million UniSuper fund members had no access to their accounts for about a week. UniSuper had a backup account with another cloud provider, and service was restored May 2nd. But
Wow.
Google did kill the account. They accidentally erased the private Google Cloud account.
Okay, how much heart attack material do you think that was?
Oh my gosh, yeah, people would be losing their mind. They say this is an isolated, one-of-a-kind occurrence that has never before occurred with any of Google Cloud's clients globally. Google Cloud CEO Thomas Kurian and UniSuper CEO Peter Chun said in a joint statement obtained by The Guardian, May 8th. Should not have happened. Google Cloud has identified the events that led to this disruption and taken measures to ensure this does not happen again. Yeah, like the delete button for somebody else's account should be, there's like one button over there. Here, I'll even point to it on the stream. Right there should be one red button that says the only way you can delete anything is if the button over there is
Right, that you
also
can't reach
pressed.
at the same time.
And I can't get it. Well, never mind.
You'd have to be like Elastigirl or something in the Incredibles to be able to do it, right? Otherwise, it couldn't be done.
And in that case, you should contact me. Anyway, the U.S. government and intelligence communities have increasingly used cloud services for data storage. The NSA inked a $10 billion deal with Amazon to move its intelligence service data onto the company's cloud, and the Pentagon has a $9 billion contract with Microsoft, Google, Oracle, and Amazon for cloud computing services. So, wow. Cloud is the new orange. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So guess what, folks? You can actually learn all about that kind of stuff. You can learn about it online without going to school, but you can actually learn about all of this cloud stuff online and in person using vetted curriculum and become at least educated so that this doesn't happen under your watch when you start providing services for your cloud business. You know, like Google. Okay. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. That's the ohmTown Daily News Show for May 13th, 2024. This is probably the shortest show I've ever done.
It is.
I was kind of in a mood. That's okay. So, with all that in mind, we hop into the what do they call that train? That the bullet train, and race down Main Street, and then we fling ourselves out of the window like a fast food delivery from that train and smash into the welcome sign of ohmTown.com, where you can become a citizen. I am Mayor Watt, and all around me is the sentient AI that didn't have enough time to save me from myself.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. We will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern.
So is it better if I sit up really close like this? Or anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Zoom, zoom like a bullet train.